Hello everyone and welcome to Rising with Dawn Dance Co. and the Pro Cheer and Dance Report. I'm Erica Dawn. I'm here today to give my review and recap of the first 2 episodes of the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Making the Team Season 15. So if you're ready, let's get right into it. Alright guys, hello again and welcome to my channel today for Rising with Dawn Dance Co. I'm Erica Dawn and this is the Pro Cheer and Dance Report. As I've been stating in previous videos, I am here today to give a recap of the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Making the Team Season 15, Episodes 1 and 2. So I'm cramming 2 episodes into one Pro Cheer and Dance Report episode here because of the holiday. I needed a little break, so I took some time away from filming and editing and all of that just to kind of, decompress and get my mind together. But I am here today to give my review and my recap of the first 2 episodes. I have lots of notes that I've taken. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, but like I said, I'm cramming 2 episodes into one review. Going forward, I'll be on to just give a review of 1 episode at a time, so you won't have to worry about me talking your ear off for so long about these episodes. Alright guys, so I'm gonna jump straight into episode 1. So first, let me tell you when and where you can watch Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Making the Team. It comes on every Tuesday night at 10/9 Central on the Country Music Television channel. And if you're interested in seeing any other previous episodes, you can always check out the Pluto TV app. The show runs 24/7 on Pluto. Alright, so the first episode was titled Like No Other because of course, this year's audition was like no other. Due to the pandemic, things had to be done a little bit differently, virtually of course. We're all familiar with virtual auditions right now. The great thing about virtual auditions, which I've been stating all along in my other videos, is that you're able to kind of get candidates from all over and all around who may not have the opportunity to travel to the city where the auditions are being held. When they're held virtually, anyone can audition. Kelly Finglass, who is the director of the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, and Judy Trammell took us through their process with selecting the rookie candidates who will be coming into training camp. They had over 1,500 applicants that they chose from 9 countries, I believe they stated. In order to be part of the selection process, each candidate had to submit 2 videos. One which was an introduction video and the second which was a video of them showing off their dance technique, so they were able to dance to whatever song of choice. And again, speaking to the fact that they were able to have more of a broad selection, the clips that they were showing of some of these ladies dancing, oh my gosh, the technique, the dancing was so great and so good, which if you've watched the show in any other previous seasons and you see that initial audition come in, you got some people in there who don't necessarily know what they're doing. So this time we definitely got to see a lot more talent per se as far as the candidates that were coming in as rookies. At least that's just my opinion. And of course they showed some that just absolutely had no business even trying to audition. I don't know what some people are thinking. Some people underestimate this business, but like I said, you're always gonna have a few that are just like, what are you doing? So of course, due to the pandemic, everybody has to stay separated. So they were able to book a tower in order to give every candidate their own room. They had 20 rookies that they brought into training camp, or their bubble per se. I love the fact that they still had Phil, who is the stadium ambassador, introduce or welcome the candidates into training camp, as he's always there to welcome them to auditions on previous seasons. So that was really good to see that. When they had their first meeting, of course they were all social distance, but that was the very first time that Kelly and Judy and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys staff that was present got to actually see the candidates in person. So like I said, they selected 20 rookie candidates to come in. The very first week, it would just be all rookies, which is something different that they've never done before in the past. Again, the talent this year is like no other. Also, like the title of the first episode. So veterans don't come in until the second week of rehearsals. I can't wait until the veterans come in and we see how they see that they've got to run for their money because these rookies did not come to play. And I don't think a lot of these veterans are going to be safe. So we shall see. So after the first introduction, they got right into the first rehearsal. They get straight down to business. Kelly and Judy are evaluating their physical appearance, how they dance, how well they have executed choreography. They had 17 routines that they were required to learn virtually and pick up and bring into training camp with them to perform in front of Kelly and Judy. I was thoroughly impressed with the fact that the way that they were dancing so in sync with one another. They didn't show us that they had any practice together before, so I'm not sure if they did, but the way it was portrayed on camera is that they did not. So again, I'm very impressed with the way that they danced in sync with one another, how detailed a lot of them were in paying attention to details that were provided by the choreographer who provided these routines, because things down to just looking in certain directions and hand placements and everything like that were on point. So of course there were a couple girls who were a little off with some of the routines, who maybe didn't practice as much as they should have, but for the most part, these girls were dancing very great with one another. Again, just like American Idol, any show that you watch, when they start doing confessionals with certain girls, you know that those are the ones that, you know, production is gonna pay close attention to, so you kind of know that they're probably gonna trickle down the road, you know, a little further than others. So I already have a few faves, and my 3 faves are Marissa, Armani, and Ellie. Marissa, her showmanship, her facial expressions, her energy, I really love. Armani is super sharp in her movements and again, very detailed in her execution of choreography. And Ellie is just a complete package. And I really loved her backstory, hearing about her injury or disability that she has, and to see her dance the way that she does just makes me proud. But yes, those 3 are definitely the ones that these veterans need to be watching out for sure. And of course, in true fashion, Kelly and Judy do not hold back when it comes to feedback. So I actually love that about them. They get straight to the point. They're like, we're not gonna sugarcoat anything. First night, we're calling people in. They wanna talk to you. They wanna let you know what you need to work on, what you fell short with. I absolutely love that. I was a little nervous that they were gonna cut some people the first night, but they didn't. So a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't watched it yet. They didn't cut anyone after the first rehearsal, which is great. But again, I really love that they get straight down to business and keep it 100 with everyone. I really love that. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into episode 2. All right, so episode 2, the rehearsal started off with kicks. So everyone knows Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are famous for their kick line. If you can't kick, you're probably not going to be on the team. Again, something that's a little bit different this time, because they cannot be touching one another. They have to do the kick line disconnected. So normally when they have their arms connected to each other's shoulders, that's not going to happen now. So they had to do their kicks or perform their kicks individually. High kicks are not easy to do, so you have to be very controlled. You have to pay attention to your hips. You have to pay attention to your feet to make sure your toes are pointed. Your legs have to be straight. You've got to hold in your core muscles to make sure that you can keep kicking as high as you possibly can. Now that you're disconnected, you've got to make sure your arm placements are right. You have to make sure that they're aligned. You have to make sure that they're not falling all over the place or doing spaghetti arms, as I like to tell my kids. We don't do spaghetti arms. So it's a lot. So it's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. Like, kicks are no joke. So that's definitely something that they have to work on for sure. It should be something that they are ready for working on coming into training camp, because again, like I said, everyone knows the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are known for their kick line. So you might want to know how to kick high. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders also have a signature dance that they perform at every game. So again, the candidates actually learned that routine over the summer and the course of the other routines that they had to learn. So it was good for Kelly and Judy to be able to kind of see their showmanship, see their stamina, see how well they can last through the routines. So that was really good for them. Again, second episode, Armani was killing it. Ellie was killing it. Yeah, those two. And Marissa, again, like I said, are definitely ones to watch out for. They did have a little bit of a scare. One of the dancers, Sydney, got a little lightheaded and nauseous. So of course, Everyone was a panic because it's like, oh no, we hope we don't have a COVID situation going on, then we're all gonna have to leave and all of that. But luckily she didn't. Again, I've been there, we've all been there as dancers. Whenever you're nervous or you're just a little too excited, sometimes you forget to breathe. And when you forget to breathe, things like that happen. You get nauseated, you get dizzy, you get lightheaded. Trust me, my first audition for the NBA, yes, the first day that happened to me. I was dizzy as all get out. You know, you'll have that. But she recovered. She was able to, you know, eat something. She hadn't eaten all day, so she was good. No coronavirus. All right, I want to talk about one of the candidates. Her name is Alora Rose. This is what I want to speak about with her because she danced for the Rockettes. Like, oh my God, like you're a Rockette. You know, like that's a big deal in the dance community. But the reason I want to showcase her and talk about her is because she's struggling a little bit to fit in with the dance style of DCC. So that kind of goes to the testament of you have to study styles. You have to study these teams that you go out for to make sure that you are dancing the way they dance, okay? So yes, it's great that you have the Rockettes on your resume, but the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders do not dance like the Rockettes. Your experiences can absolutely speak to your professionalism. They can actually speak to, you know, the fact that you're a team player and that you work well with a team. But when it comes to certain styles and techniques, you have to make sure that you are aware of who you're dancing for. So I don't really know as far as references for NFL, but when it comes to NBA, I know that as a Cavalier girl, our style was completely different than the Miami Heat dancers. And the Miami Heat dancer style is completely different than the Laker girls. So you definitely have to do your research. You have to study. Not saying that she's not a great dancer. Of course, to be a Rockette, of course you're a great dancer. But that just goes to, again, what I'm saying about just make sure that you study styles, all styles, jazz, hip hop, all of it, which I'm gonna get into that now talking about hip hop because they had a guest choreographer come in and teach a routine, which was a palm hip hop related routine. This was the first time that they actually had to learn in front of Kelly and Judy, which was good for them to be able to see how quickly do you pick up with choreography. Are you someone that we're gonna have to work with for days? Because in the pro world, we don't have days. We don't have time like that. Like we need you to be able to execute quickly. So yeah, you might've had all summer to practice those 17 routines, but how do you do when the choreographer is right here teaching you a routine and it's time to perform now? So let me talk about style when it comes to that. So again, he's a hip hop choreographer. He taught a palm hip hop routine to these ladies. Do not underestimate hip hop technique. This is a problem amongst the pro cheer and dance world. It just always has been. You have to study hip hop just as hard as you study your jazz and your ballet. Hip hop has technique. There's a certain way that you have to move. People underestimate it all the time. They think because they can snap their fingers on beat or they can groove in the club that they can do hip hop. No, you have to study that style. You have to get grounded in your movements. You have to know how to do hip hop. It's not easy. So once we're seeing them perform, Evan is his name. Once we saw them perform his routine, we saw some of the girls kind of fall apart a little bit, you know, because now, you know, you got to learn right here, right now. So that was interesting to see. All right, so then later in the show, they all got to try on their uniform and they did the uniform fitting, which was super exciting for all of the candidates because the DCC uniform is a signature thing. So they kind of got to play around in the mirror in their uniforms. One of the girls, Annabelle, put her shorts on backwards. That was kind of funny and cute. So it was really good to see Kelly be able to kind of have more of a personal one-on-one conversation and get to know their personalities, let loose a little bit with the ladies. So that was fun to see. So also later in the show, they got into my girl Armani and they started telling us her story and how she grew up in a studio and had a dance teacher who was discouraging to her. We've all had somebody, a teacher, a coach or something that tried to discourage us. But it was very inspiring to see that she did not stop. She kept going. She danced in college. Again, her technique and the way she dances and just her energy and everything is so great to see. So I don't know what dance teacher ever told her that she wasn't great. I don't know, but Armani is it. She is, and I love her. Oh, and side note, I want to talk about, let me go back to first episode, because there was a point when Judy, I think it was Kelly actually, she referred to Jada. She talked about her hair being beautiful. To some, that may not mean a whole lot, but Jada is a Black girl. Jada was wearing her natural hair, her natural curls as they came out of her head. And hearing those things, hearing those words have more meaning than a lot of people may think. So I want to personally thank them for just putting that out there, because putting things out there like that matters. That's all I'm gonna say. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, back on track. So back to episode 2. All right, so let me go back to talking about Evan in the choreography, because this, like I said, is where some things fell apart and where some people fell apart. A pet peeve of mine, just from a coaching standpoint, when Kelly would give a note or Judy would give a note and a candidate would then respond back with, "Yes, ma'am, I'm working on that. I promise I'm working on that." Look, I know you're nervous. I know you want to convince them and let them know, please don't cut me, please don't cut me. I get it. But if you know it's an issue, you would have fixed it. You don't know. Just say yes, ma'am, and fix it for next time. That's just how I feel. That's my opinion. From a coaching standpoint, that's just a pet peeve of mine. Like, I don't want to hear that you've been working on it or you're gonna work on, like, just do it. Just do it. Take the note and do it. So after they showed Evan's rehearsal, they talked about going straight to cuts. So Judy and Kelly called in Cassie, who was one of the candidates, into their office, and, well, I guess it's not really an office, but the room, and just expressed to her, you know, some things that they were noticing. They asked her if she preferred to leave right then and there, or if she would rather stay a little bit longer, which, what do you think she's gonna say? Of course, she wants to stay longer. So they let her stay longer and gave her more of a chance, but it kind of, you know, lights a fire under her to make sure that she, you know, stays on point. She knows that her spot is not safe. So, you know, like I said, I love the fact that they do that. It's great. They got to keep their composure when they're doing these cuts and talking to these ladies, because, you know, you got to have thick skin even as a coach when it comes to these cuts and stuff like that and all of that. So, and then they ended up calling in Amelia into the office, and she unfortunately did get cut, and it was her last night. She was one that they did showcase in the beginning, so I guess I was a little bit wrong about, you know, the confessional things, but yeah, she did end up getting cut. But again, she got to experience this. She knows what to expect. It's not always a bad thing to get cut. You know what I'm saying? You know what to expect. You know what you need to bring next time. You made it this far for a reason. You'll make it that far again, and you'll make it further the next time. So never be discouraged if you don't make the team your first time trying, or if you get cut in a preliminary round of auditions. Just continue to do your best, continue working towards it, and you will get there. All right, so next episode, I don't know if the veterans will be coming on to the next episode, but they do mention that it is the last day of rehearsals before the veterans come in. Okay, so it looks like Kelly and Judy are gonna be getting a little bit tougher on these ladies next time, and there was lots of tears on the preview for next week. So hopefully, you know, things go okay, but we're gonna see. I think it's gonna be a pretty juicy episode, so I'm looking forward to watching it. But that's all I have for episodes 1 and 2. Again, as we get further into the season, I will definitely have more specifics and details about certain people, certain things that are happening, but we're only 2 episodes in, so, you know, gotta keep watching. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me on social media as well at Rising with Dawn Dance Co. and on Facebook, Erica Dawn Dance Choreography. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I have so many holiday fun things that are coming your way as far as dance is concerned. The next video that you will be seeing in the next couple of days here on my channel is my review of Dance Dreams, the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker documentary that is on Netflix right now. You guys, again, tears. just tears and more tears. I work with kids and I miss my dance kids so much, and Debbie Allen is everything to me. Like, I feel like I am her. Like, I'll explain it all on the next video. But if you'd like to see my review on dance streams, definitely make sure that you are subscribed and come back here to my channel here in the next couple days and check out that video. Also, again, if you have not checked out my apparel line yet, which is on Etsy, it's called And5 Apparel. It is a clothing line that I created that is dedicated to all things cheer and dance. I have some kids items that will be dropping very soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that as well. I will leave a link to the store in the description below. I have some holiday cheer items as well that are for sale. They will be coming down off the site pretty soon because shipping and things like that are getting backed up and delayed, not only because of COVID, but also because of the holidays. So I don't want to keep things up on the store that won't be available to you before Christmas, or I might not take them down, but they may be heavily discounted. So definitely keep your eye out, keep your eye peeled on my store, And5 Apparel. You might luck out and get a good deal. So again, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pro Cheer and Dance Report. I will be back next week for another review of DCC Making the Team. But in the meantime, make sure that you're checking out all of my other videos that will be in between these reviews, okay? So thank you again and have a wonderful day. Bye.